Hey guys, really fun Murloc game here. This was after they announced the Apprentice of Sephin was going to be removed from the game temporarily. Just kind of explaining my plays in the early game. Typical scenarios game where you're just trying to find as much value as you can the first couple turns. Ideally, you find some two-cost spells. But really, I end up getting a bunch of buffs here with apples, and my plan from here is just to stay low, probably an extra turn or two, to get milk a couple extra of the hero powers. And use the one Murloc that comes from the hand, the one drop, the Fighty Scout, kind of just as my early game board to just try and save as much health as I possibly can. Um, so the way that I think you kind of play Murlocs with Apprentice out is really you just don't you kind of should just be avoiding the comp as much as you can. You can see I get a really early triple here, which is nice. And the triple for this is really cool, where it ends up summoning from hand with double its stat. So I have a really strong minion here in the early game. But so the way to play kind of without the Apprentice in seems to be very dependent on getting like a way to get a lot of buffs on your board, which is going to be from Bran or using this new trinket, Vibrant Bubble. What this lets you do is it does a spellcraft that lets you put 2 bonus keywords onto minions. This includes some of the really broken ones like Divine Shield, Reborn, and Venomous, and this makes it so you can have a lot of these little scam units, and what's even stronger is you can actually target the shop. So what you could do is target a minion one turn, see if you get the good stuff on it, put it in your hand, and then that's something that you can summon from your base skills. You can potentially freeze it and then get another set of buffs. Something that I really liked doing was targeting the 3-drop, the Reckless Cliff Diver. The reason for that is it already has a Reborn on it, so it already has one of the really good ones. So that's just like one less thing that you have to get for it to be good. Ideally, you're shooting to get all 3 of Reborn, Venomous, and Divine Shield, but outside of that, like really just having a bunch of these little scam units in the early game, especially if you get the early base skill, it's really strong and you're just going to be really hard to deal with. Um, the in the mid game, really, I wanted to get to 5 eventually, because that's where most of the really good Murlocs are. You have the ability to find Belchers, which is another way to just get more venomous. You have the way to get Primal Fins, and really that's just kind of my plan. Is like I really didn't want to sit on 4. There's really not much you can get, especially with Apprentice out. If Apprentice was in the game, I might have sat on 4 a little bit more. But you can see that I'm just able to like clean up these bigger boards with just a bunch of my like little token units. But that's kind of how you play the game. We get a really fun trinket here with chess set that lets us duplicate our base skill throughout the game. And that makes it so now we don't just have like the one really annoying Reborn base skill, but we have 2 of them. And I can't really explain like how really broken it is giving your base skills Reborn and the whole like package of buffs. Really cool thing that I was able to do here, because I was able to triple the Bubble Gunner, and it has all the buffs that we care about. It already had the Venomous, the Divine Shield, and the stuff. We were able to put that in hand, and that way I can play more of the token units kind of on the board, and that way I can start giving those the buffs that I want ideally. Just because like you having all the units on in your hand is more like important right now, because I can get them from my hand really easily with the base skills, and like you have more time with them on the board to be able to do the buffs there. Here we're able to get another of the another really good unit in the hand, which is going to be the Reckless Cliff Diver. I don't have a Titus yet, but I am shooting to get a Titus, because so that's going to give me a lot more scam. So it is worth just probably playing the Reckless Cliff Divers for now, and potentially tripling them and doing the same thing that we kind of did with the Gunner and putting them in the hand. Here I just kind of cycle Tads. Remember, these 5/5 units are pretty useless, so that's why I'm okay with cycling the Tads before getting the Titus, just because like it really doesn't matter. And then I end up kind of just not doing math right, that I need to only play 5 minions with the chess set. I could have hypothetically only played 6 and not gotten the start of combat summon, but I think it's worth doing just the one extra unit there. And you can just see here, like we're turn 10, we have no minion with more than 20 stats. I think is our biggest minion, and like we're able to beat people just because we're doing all this kind of cheese shenanigan type stuff. I end up going with buffing one of the cliff divers there. In hindsight, it probably would have been better to buff the one that didn't have venomous. However, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. I kind of been seeing that I'm already getting too late for Bran, especially because I'm at 14 health. I need to kind of play my life every single fight here. Um, so that's why I end up selling out of the Divine Shield, pick up a Leroy. Leroy is just a better, like consistently able to kill off one unit. And we can see here, like this is looks like a hard combat. I'm not sure if the deck tracker odds are right at this point or not, but at least watching this fight, it felt very, it looks pretty clean. But we do lose, and I guess that's kind of showing like we're really one off of having like what we need, which we can easily just find one more unit to kind of put in our hand that's good. We find a Belcher. Belcher's a huge pickup with this comp, and then I end up using this as a chance to get out of the scout. I was trying to see if I could find like the 6-drop with Divine Shield and Taunt, but that kind of like the fighting scout at this point isn't really doing anything for me. Like a 20, even like a 20 health unit isn't going to be any type of make or break. Here we're able to triple the cliff diver. In hindsight, I should have kept that in hand for the reasons I was telling earlier. And then we found a party scout. Party scout's kind of interesting because we can give it reborn really easily with the hand, and this is just one more like scam unit that we can kind of easily play. And it's also going to be able to get some stats for us just to make sure we're playing around things like Blaster. Here's just another fight where it looks like we scam essentially really well. But you can just see like how strong it is having these like scam cards that come out of the hand, as well as having scam on the field. Like, how do you deal with 7-8 units of Divine Shield, Reborn, and Venom? Like, you just can't. End up picking up again as many like stats as we can. Mostly stats on the board are just to make it so we can potentially clear out a couple of token units, and it also makes sure that we're a little bit healthier in case we have to deal with like a I don't know, a blaster or something kind of like that. From here, I was trying to figure out if I want another Divine Shield or not. I think ultimately I don't pick up more Divine Shields. The biggest thing is like Divine Shields are only useful if you have stats. If you don't have stats, they don't do really anything for you. Freezing a Chef's Choice here, I think, is worth it enough. And you can kind of see here, like we're beating people that just have 1,000 stats, but we have 20 stats. Like it's really funny to watch. We're able to just do very cleanly. Like we're able to take Divine Shields off. We're putting our own Divine Shields. We're playing Venom. So it's just a very clean comp. And you can see it's very strong, very hard to deal with. This last fight, our next fight, I believe is the Mirror Murloc fight. So we do get the Venom on our party, which is just one more just really disgusting unit on the board. So from here, the next step is just get as many like buffs on the board. I'm trying to find like more Divine Shields and Leroys. And from here, it's just putting like Cliff Divers in your hand, trying to find more base skills, more Belchers. And then I end up using a Hero Power here more just for the lulz, because what are you going to do? But you can see like this guy, he's pretty much doing the same thing. He has the new trinket that makes it so whenever you reroll Murlocs, they get a beneficial effect. So very similar. Like if anything, he probably is generating more effects. However, we're able to have more like consistent buffs is kind of the way I'm reading these two trinkets. But I just think it's really funny to see this is a lobby where there is no elementals, no mechs, so we are really just dealing with straight up big like scam stuff, and this is kind of what happens when undead comps are just in such a bad spot. You can see like we literally had a perfect comp out there, like we were supposed to lose, but that like I think it's really crazy to see like the Murlocs were the two best comps in this matchup. Really unfortunate that we weren't able to get an actual unit from him, but really interesting that like Murlocs are the two like quote unquote best comps in this lobby, and this is without the apprentice in. So really just The way to play Murlocs now is just getting as many of your like scam cards in your hand, as many on the board, and ideally you're getting this from Trinkets because Apprentice is not around. When they bring Apprentice back, we'll see if they still allow it to do stuff with Murkai, but you can just see that this is a very clean last combat because, we automatically beat stats. We already have more scam. We're able to take out more units than he has. So, anyways, hopefully this helps you see how to play Murlocs even with Apprentice banned. See ya. Bye.